Ariel Helwani here in central London alongside Joyce. We have just found out that he is returning to action on September 23rd on TNT Sports in the big rematch against Zhilei Zhang. Of course, we saw that fight just a few months ago. Now they will run it back to see who is truly the better man. I appreciate the time very much, Joe. Thank you so much for it. First off, we saw you just a few months ago in that fight, your first professional loss. And I'm just curious about your eye, because that's the last time we saw you. How is the eye feeling, and how close to 100% are you?
The eye's feeling great. It was healed within the week, or when I went straight to. It was only the bruising, so once the swelling came down. Also, my ear was kind of bruised, so it took a couple of weeks, but it was a bit tender. But yeah, apart from that, I was pretty good, pretty in good health. It's tough to take a loss like that. Zhang was a very good opponent and experienced, very fast, deceptively fast, and accurate with his left hand. And I thought it was a really tough fight, and I need to come back stronger from it.
Yeah, and of course that's happening in September, but just wanted to ask you a few things about that. I found it, I don't know, in a weird way, a cruel irony that your first defeat looked a lot like Daniel Dubois' first defeat against you. It was the eye, and people questioned his heart that night. Did you feel like people were questioning you after that fight the same way they questioned him? It was a very similar way to end the fight, and a very similar way to have a first professional loss.
It was similar, not as damaging, because I didn't break my orbital bone, and I thought, he landed me with some really good shots. He won the fight clearly, and it got stopped from the eye swelling. But I was ready to carry on. I wasn't the ref stopped it for me, and I could still see. But it's just tearing me up. But looking at the scoring on a video, I was actually up on I was actually landing a lot of shots, and if the fight continued, then maybe I'd it would have been a different story. But because the eye was so bad, it kind of stopped that process.
Were you okay with the stoppage? I know you said that you could have, you could see.
I could live to fight another day. Is I could have carried on, but I could have just got worse and ended up stopping anyway. But I lived to fight another day, and now I come back and right the wrongs.
In retrospect, would it be fair to say that you took him lightly in preparation?
I didn't take him lightly. I don't take anyone lightly in preparation, but I think you got a couple of things wrong, and those things need to be rectified in this camp.
Could I ask what those things are?
Obviously, me and my team and stuff Salas and Larry not being there the week because they were with other fighters, and I don't know, maybe tactics and some stuff in the camp needs to be better. I need to be a bit stronger, and I guess my weight was a bit. You can nitpick about all the little bits, but basically you just need to get them right. And it wasn't that far off. I just need to make a few more adjustments and go back in, because I think. But Zhang, don't get me wrong, Zhang's a great fighter, and it was a tough old night and a tough pill to swallow as well, getting the loss and losing my unbeaten record in such a good position in a fight that I didn't need to take. The list goes on, but I am actually fighting. I'm taking risks, and I'm fighting these guys. I'm actually fighting people, unlike some of the heavyweights.
Yeah. Who are you referring to?
Huh?
Who are you referring to?
Do I have to spell it out?
No, I don't know. There's a lot of heavyweights now that aren't fighting.
I'm sure if you've got a brain and you can think, you know who I'm talking about.
Okay. And so a lot of the talk going into that fight, as you alluded to, was, hey, this is a big risk. You don't need to take this because you are on the verge of a massive fight. Do you regret taking the fight a few months ago?
I don't regret taking the fight. It's kind of part of the journey of my career, and I think I just need to. It's like a challenge, an obstacle that has stopped me in my tracks, and something I'm gonna have to rebuild and come out stronger and hopefully get those opportunities back.
And it had been so long since you tasted any kind of defeat. How were the days after the fight? How did you handle it?
Yeah, I mean, like on the night I watched it back, and it was just terrible to watch back the performance, and I felt like, the disappointment from all my friends, my family, my fans, my girlfriend it's tough. So like, because normally I'm on the winning end of things, so that's a totally different feeling, and yeah, it was a tough night. Like, I had to go to hospital and get checked out and everything, and it took a long time, and it's character building, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I've tasted defeat in amateurs, so I know what it feels like, and I don't really particularly want it to happen again.
I thought it was really interesting. The tweet that you put out right after the fight, you referred to it as annoying, which you don't often hear fighters say. You hear heartbreaking, devastating, but you said annoying, which I thought was a really interesting word. Like, almost like this is a nuisance, and that's why I ask about if you regret taking the fight, because like almost you didn't have to do it. Says a lot about you that you did. Any particular reason why you chose that word?
Because it's frustrating. I felt I could beat him, and because I didn't, and I struggled and I looked terrible. It's very frustrating losing, where I felt that I could have won, and that I know I'm better, and I know I could do better. And I'm frustrated with my own performance and not delivering on what I say I do. I say I was going to beat him, and I want to deliver my word, and give people a spectacle, and show everyone I'm the real deal.
Is this something that you can only truly get over until you have this fight? Like, you could only get over the loss until you right the wrong? Like, right now, would it be fair to say that you're still kind of stewing over it?
No, I'm not stewing over it. I'm over the loss, but it's it's not like, there's a difference when you're winning, and people behind you, and they're like looking forward to your next fights and that. So when when you take a loss, then you don't get kind of. It's like it's a different dynamic and different. How people treat you. I don't know. Like it's different.
You feel like people have jumped off the bandwagon for a bit?
I mean, a little bit. Like, I feel like I let a lot of people down. Like, and I need to make it up to them and get the win. And I need to be a world champion, and like get my title back and get back in the mix. Like,
sure. You feel like you let them down, but I would be shocked if anyone.
I think I let myself down. I let my family.
But I don't think anyone has ever said that to
you.
Yeah,
but
right?
I put a lot of burden, maybe a lot of burden on myself, and I like to keep my word and deliver.
A few years ago, you told TalkSport, we're here at TalkSport, you told TalkSport that you enjoy boxing, you don't know if you necessarily love it. You didn't grow up a boxing fan, right?
No.
And so I was just wondering, after suffering your first pro loss, did that change your feelings toward the sport? Was there any part of you that said, screw this? Or maybe did it ignite a deeper love and passion for the sport?
I don't know. I still like, it's a pretty good job I've got as a professional boxer. I can't, but it is tough. It is very tough, and it's. Yeah, I can't find the words, but like, it's very tough to take. But life is tough, and it's about moving forward and completing your goals, and enjoying life, and it's a lot more enjoyable when you win.
So what is your goal now?
My goal is to get my title back, and then get back in the mix, and not. I think there's a lot of hype around the fight before, and like, oh, my chin's so good, and everyone's like singing my praises and stuff, and you kind of get a bit ahead, like it kind of goes to your head a little bit, like because you're thinking about, oh, what's the next step and what's the next step after that, and not really focus on what is in front of you. But I felt like I was, but it wasn't enough on the night.
And so was that part of the problem? Everyone was talking about what this fight could lead to, and there wasn't enough focus on the actual fight itself.
Yeah, maybe I'm used to being the underdog or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
And so, of course, I will ask you then, on the heels of that question, what does this fight lead to? Does this get you that big fight that you were thinking that you were going to get back in the spring?
It gets me back in line for the title, for the mandatory. So there's a WBA, IBF, and then WBO in that order. So get my title back, I'll be back, but I'll get it back in time, and it won't make any difference apart from the loss of my record.
Right. And could I ask? I know that you alluded to this earlier, but what do you make of the state of the heavyweight division? It seems like every division right now, you're seeing unification bouts, you're seeing big fights made, and the heavyweights are just teasing us, and nothing's being done.
Why are you teasing me?
I mean, well, what is going on? Am I wrong?
You're right. Like where's these fights, man? Like, when's the next big fight? Is my fight? No, like I can't see any other.
Dubois and Usyk.
Wait, is that December? When's that?
No, I think it might be in August.
August. Okay.
Late August, almost a month before yours. But obviously Fury, Wilder, all these, it's like Joshua. We're not seeing any of these guys fight.
I know, and like, back in what was it, the 80s and 90s or whatever, like the champs were like, they're all fighting like multiple times per year, like 5 times and stuff, like the Tyson. I was hearing like Mike Tyson and that. So I think heavyweights need to like man up and take on these fights, man. Like,
Enough already.
Yeah,
it's exhausting. As an outsider, these constant updates.
It's like you kind of like build up. Oh yeah, this fight's gonna happen. You get excited for it, and then oh no, it's not happening.
Fizzles out.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it's a responsibility as one of the big names in the division to fight, to do this fight, to take this fight, to be active?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's so many options and that, and it kind of takes away from the action. People are more concerned. I mean, more smart, I guess, and business minded in boxing instead of for like pride and glory and guts and glory and all that.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
2 last things, and it's sort of on the prediction front. Usyk, you fought him as an amateur. Dubois, you beat him. You gave him his first pro loss in 2020. Who do you like in that fight?
I'm sorry?
Usyk, Dubois.
I think Dubois hits hard, so if he can hit Usyk, then he's got a shot. But if he can't, he's not. Because Usyk throws too many punches, head movements, amazing, footwork, experience.
So ultimately, you're leaning.
Yeah, I'm leaning on Usyk, but I think Dubois, if he can land a heavy shot on him, Usyk's in trouble. Because Dubois hits very hard.
And then the big one, September 23rd. Who do you like in the Joyce Zhilei Zhang fight?
I like Joyce. I think I really like him. I think he can rebuild and do it this time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Stoppage?
I think stoppage. Yeah.
Right the wrong.
Yeah, right the wrong.
Shut up all those haters, those doubters.
Shut up all those haters, those doubters.
Enough of you guys. All those people. By the way, all those people who jumped off the bandwagon, you're not welcome back on.
Yeah, no, you're not
23rd,
welcome.
Right?
No.
I get to decide. I'm driving the bandwagon. We just met, but I've been driving the bandwagon for quite some time.
Oh yeah?
I mean, I'm waiting.
Is it on the left side or the right side?
Well, I'm Canadian, so we go both ways. But pause.
Maybe you should rephrase it then.
But after this, I want to see you go back to your roots, a little kickboxing, a little capoeira.
Oh, yeah?
You don't know that I know about
a
this.
little cup of wearer.
That too.
Nice.
You versus Francis Ngannou. That's the fight that no one's talking about. You versus the UFC champ, right? Why not? You're the martial artist.
Yeah, why not?
But
let's just do it in boxing. He started in boxing.
But
Let's do it in
you're
boxing.
a kickboxer.
I could kick.
Yeah.
I could do. I guess so.
Would you want that fight?
It's a good fight. Yeah. Let's see some numbers and maybe possibly.
Perhaps that fight, the fight that we're getting on September 23rd, could be, dare I say, the London Bridge, which is right over there, to the Francis Ngannou money fight.
Yeah, not the Tower Bridge.
Not the Tower Bridge. Don't look at Google.
It's different.
It's a London Bridge. All right. Well, this has been fantastic. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
a lot of people say you don't like doing media. You're great at this.
I try.
You're fantastic.
Yeah,
Would you come out rapping to that song about you?
I could give it a go.
I think that would be a great
I'm
look.
quite good on karaoke sometimes.
Okay. If you need someone, I could do that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, September 23rd, stay tuned for that. More importantly, stay tuned for the rematch. It's Joyce against Zhilei Zhang. Fantastic fight just a few months ago. They're running it back, and they're letting the heavyweights know that it's time to man up and fight. Enough of this dilly-dallying. There he is. Yeah. He's getting this one back.
Man up and fight.
Yeah, let's go.
Real fighting man.
The Juggernaut. Thank you so much, Joe. All the best to you. Good luck. Watch it on TNT Sports.